How about it?
I'm curious to know what you brought. It'll be a surprise.
It's probably not White Russian.
Oh man, that's right.
No, it's much more, like stuff created.
Yeah,
that's just so big these days. It's what.
Our comments have exploded through the roof. So there you go.
All right. It is Monday, 2:00. That means it's Lancaster Connects time. And we're very excited about this week's guest because he brought some tasty drinks, I'm told.
Indeed.
The first connection cocktail with cocktails
will be brought in with cocktails. So stay tuned. For you, you just get to watch us drink, but we get to partake. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're joined here. We got Sam Allen here from Bube's Brewery. We're going to bring Sam on here just a minute. We got a little bit of housekeeping to do. Again, this is Lancaster Connects. Every Monday at 2:00, we shine light on great people doing great things in our community. We share a lot of charities, a lot of local heroes, and great local businesses. And this time, Sam with his business, Bube's Brewery, is with us this week. But let's jump right in. My mattress tip. Not that we might need this one today, because Pennsylvania spring gonna spring in Pennsylvania, right? Saturday I'm out getting our camp RV trailer ready, and I'm like sweating.
Shorts, t-shirt.
Yesterday,
like sunburns,
doing some tune-up on the motorcycle, and then this morning it's like, oh, I should have plugged in my diesel truck to warm it up overnight because there's snow on the ground where I was.
Yeah,
I live.
Pennsylvania spring is the right term.
Anyway, my mattress tip for you, cooling is a hot topic in mattresses, right? Now, I contend personally, it's more about our diet and what we're taking in is what's brought this on than anything. But, there are people that do sleep warm. And if you're one of those people, cooling really is about your skin temperature. If you think about it, if you're wearing a cotton shirt on a hot summer day and you are sweating, it's going to feel pretty miserable as compared to like a dry fit or an Under Armour type shirt, right? Because that's going to wick away moisture, going to feel better. Cooling's really about your skin and your skin temperature and the ability of those materials, whether you're wearing them in pajamas or you're laying on them as sheets or your mattress protector, to control humidity and move moisture. And we offer all kinds of amazing products here to help move moisture. We even have a great airflow topper that I swear by. I have two of them, one for each side of our queen bed and our RV trailer, ready to go. They move air under your body. I can't sleep without the thing. My wife, she's like, we need that in the trailer. I think we'll have a third half of the queen to take on travels with us down the road. But temperature and cooling is about moving moisture, moving air, controlling humidity. It's not so much about what's in the mattress. It can be complementary, but anything you get in the mattress, if you're sleeping on old school flannel cotton sheets, you're going to undermine that ability for your mattress to cool. So that's my mattress buying tip for you this week. And I think we're ready to jump into the show.
Yeah. So Sam, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
The first guest responsibility is to have our listeners and watchers see our discount that you are going to initiate for us. So Chris, let's bring up that wheel. And Sam, I think you know what to do when you're ready.
Okay. Go ahead and spin.
There you go. I like that. It doesn't always have to be spin that wheel.
Just direction. That's
Love it.
Spoken like a true business owner.
Let's get to it.
Right? Yeah. Direction.
We got things to do.
All right. So free bed frame with a mattress set purchase. A
good value.
Bed frame is $129 value. So that's for any listener or watcher of Lancaster Connects this week only. Come in to
April
Gardner's
20th.
Mattress and More, 830 Plaza Boulevard, right behind Park City Mall. mention that you saw this discount offer on Lancaster Connects, and you'll get a free bed frame with your mattress set purchase. That's a good wheel spin.
That's a pretty good one.
It's not quite as good as a free cocktail with your drink, maybe, or with your mattress purchase, but
We got the wheel spin and we did free cocktail with podcast show.
that's right.
And that's what our wheel spin was this week.
Love it. Love it.
Mhm.
Sam, so thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Like Jeff said, this is, we have conversations with great people doing great things in the Lancaster community, business owners, kind of like ourselves. And I think this is going to be one of the more unique stories that we tell on Lancaster Connects, because, most restaurants are kind of, maybe they have their theme and they have their vibe, but Bube's has probably the most unique vibe of any restaurant, bar / whatever experience in
It does
Lancaster
help
County.
for any hospitality place to have a little niche, but
Yep.
we have dozens of niches.
Yeah, way more
kind of what
than-
makes us unique.
Way more than Funyuns and Tanglers.
Yeah, and
That should have been the name of the show.
Yeah.
I give everyone credit for what they do. You need a variety.
Yeah,
I'm all about diversity. But the one thing I do like about restaurants that are little independent ones like us is you never have to wait for an hour and a half for a table.
Mhm.
We generally go by reservation. And that's kind of new these days. It's easy to do online.
Yep.
You used to be able to do that. You call. People are kind of hesitant to call sometimes.
Yep.
But a real trend, for what it's worth, our conversation is that people go online, get a table. When they come in, they don't have to, I don't know about you guys, but I hate wasting time. I just hate wasting time.
Yeah.
And sitting in the lobby of some restaurant, nothing against them. I don't go on Saturdays anyway. I always go on, quieter nights. And I visit them all, but I just loathe waiting for an hour for table.
No, I agree.
It's just, I don't know. Tip for a restaurant: if you're at one of those places and there's 2 seats at the bar, go ahead and sit down at the bar. You'll have a drink like that, and you'll be able to order your food. And
Perfect.
I've walked out doing that, still seeing people waiting that were there when I got there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good tip. Pro tip. Love it.
But in this case, again, our casual dining restaurant, we have the Bottling Works and an outdoor beer garden, which is really fun in the summer. We're certainly happy to have people that don't have reservations there.
Yeah.
But if you have you can make a reservation, and when you walk in, especially if you have out of town guests or something, it's nice not waiting.
Yeah.
And our Catacombs restaurant, I really recommend you try to get a reservation, because it's very popular. It's unique. It's people come
Different.
from, literally all over. Like, we have international visitors. I've had people from New Zealand more than once.
That's cool.
So,
That's cool.
That's international dining.
some
Yes, for
people,
sure.
and what's funny though, marketing, there are people who could walk there and almost don't even realize
don't
that
know
we're
that it's there.
They just don't even, there's endless, marketing is endless. And we just love people to get the word out. We love sharing our place with people. So just like you love sharing, I loved your tip at the beginning there. It was,
Thank you.
I'm going to look into that.
Well, we can help you.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
So, Bube's Brewery, how did it get its start?
Originally,
Historically, and then kind of dovetail into how you became involved
Okay.
and what kind of drew you to that place.
Every answer I give you here, I'm going to try to give you the short version, and go like this if it's good.
You'll watch the screen if Chris flashes red.
Okay.
Just kidding. There is no flash of red.
If Chris, if you need me to slow down or hurry up, I'll do so. This area is a wonderful example of the fact that when Germans came to America, and there's millions upon millions of people of German descent came to this country, and what people don't, I think, realize is we all know Germany's famous for beer, but historically, Germans, beer isn't just like a recreational beverage. That's what I would call it to us. Beer to Germans is kind of like cheese and bread. It's woven into their
like
it's
normal
it's a
sustenance.
staple.
Yeah.
Now they do enjoy it when it's really good. So just like you enjoy really good bread or really good cheese, right? But it's a staple part of their survival going back into history. So when Germans first came to this country, I think it's kind of fun that the only beer that they could drink was ale made by an English style ale. And let's just put it quite simply, they were not impressed at all.
The Germans weren't impressed.
They were not
With
impressed
ale,
by
okay.
English style ale beer. Germans are famous for a beer called lager beer.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, ale goes back to biblical times. Beer has been around forever. And through most of history, beer was ale. it's kind of yeast that's wild and gets in the beer cereal beverage. If you put it in a clay jar in ancient Mesopotamia, if it gets some yeast in it that's wild, that becomes what we call ale.
Yeah.
Lager beer is specifically something developed in Germany. And it's a different kind of yeast, special. It's a different brewing process. And the Germans came to adopt it, love it, and that's what they love best. Germans make ale as well because lager yeast doesn't work well in the hot summer. So they made ale all summer long, even back in Germany in the old days. Of course, today with the refrigeration, they don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
But little beer lesson here. I love the fact that in autumn, when the temperatures cooled off and they could make that first batch of lager beer again, they drank the whole thing. The whole batch. That's now called Oktoberfest.
I was going to wonder what the tie-in there
Not
was.
a coincidence. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, they in northern climates, you have to have nutrition in the wintertime. You can't go out and pick a piece of fruit. So these kind of things like bread, milk, and beer, I meant cheese, you know what I mean? Cheese lasts longer than milk. Were developed so they could survive over the winter, you know, and maybe potatoes and things like that were helpful too. But anyway, so Germans got really good at making beer. When they first got to America, there was no German beer. And for my ancestors got here in the 1700s, I'm sure they were not impressed. On one side, I'm English, Irish, Scottish on one side, German on the other. My mom's from here, my dad's from Seattle. In any case, so this. It took all the way into the 1850s, which is, I think, because, you know, that means the Germans here, when Yuengling, you know what Yuengling Brewery is, I'm sure, they got here in 1829. There was no lager yeast, so the only thing Yuengling was making in 1829 is ale. Right. They made the ale because they could get that yeast. And Lord Chesterfield ale is probably the closest thing made today that's like what Yuengling would have made for the first 20-some years of their existence. But when the lager yeast finally came to them, it first came to Philadelphia. Richard Wagner was a guy who opened the first commercial brewery, German lager beer brewery in Philadelphia.
Wow.
But what's, I think, a fun fact is from that humble beginning of lager yeast making it over from Germany to the United States, it just took off like a wildfire across the entire country. People just loved this new beer. It was like a fad. Not just Germans, but everybody else, just everybody tried lager beer. And
there were mid 1800s hipsters about their preferred fermented beverage of choice. Like, no, you sir, you don't ale. No, that's not.
That was
cool, right.
Passe.
Right. Yeah. Lager is the way to go. But you don't know
go.
anything about it, right? Just the way hipsters and people talk about music and fashion and like this person, that person.
I think people have always loved that new thing.
Yeah, right.
Just to try the new thing. And it was just so popular during the Civil War. By the Civil War, people knew about lager. And of course, in the South, there was none because most of the Germans came in the North, at least initially. Texas did get a lot of Germans, and Shiner Bock beer, you might have heard of that. That's a Texas German beer. But here particularly New York, Jersey, Maryland, and especially Pennsylvania, because we had so many Germans, is where lager beer started. But so hundreds of young German brewers started coming to this country, opening up breweries everywhere. All over, and in the South eventually too, because the demand for lager beer was this phenomenon. And of course, you know, if you're a young German journeyman apprentice brewer back in Germany, you want nothing more than to get your apprenticeship, come to America, open a brewery, make your fortune. It was like a gold rush.
Right.
Well, Mr. Bube in context was simply one of those thousands of young guys. Adolphus Busch, Everhard Anheuser, Friedrich Müller, which is now Miller.
I've never heard of these names before.
Adolf Coors. Coors used to be
small names in the
in the brewing business.
Pantheons of
just young
American
guys did the
beers.
same thing Mr. Bube did. Apprentice
Okay.
came to America. Coors is spelled Kuhr. But it got Americanized as well to the spelling you're familiar with. And I could go on all day. There were hundreds of them. 99.9% of those breweries that I'm talking about are gone, just gone. A few are still in business. I think Yuengling deserves its place, especially in American brewing history, as the earliest one that is still in active business. Yeah. They're the oldest. They were brews from the 1700s.
And still family owned.
And still family owned. They're not even
private
yet.
Family owned, yeah.
I love, I'm very familiar with them. And Dick Yuengling is basically retired, but instead of just sitting around watching TV, he runs a tow motor and loads trucks.
That's awesome.
is a billionaire loading trucks because he likes it. He's
What he likes to
and
do.
you know,
Yep.
I just there's lots of things. They're very nice people.
Well, just as a quick aside, I was talking with somebody this weekend about, retirement and everything. And, we're a society now where when we're talking about the mid 1800s, the industrialization of our nation, that was very manual, intensive labor.
By 65, you were worn out.
You were worn. Yeah. You were
Mhm.
breathing, Lord knows what,
Coal dust,
you know,
whatever.
yeah. And that was in the healthier areas.
Yeah.
If you worked in a factory,
Yeah.
like it was
Sure.
pretty rough.
You were lucky to make it to 65, quite actually.
Yeah, but like 65 is the new 35 now. And we're feeling younger as a society. And not to make this a crass self-promotion, but gee whiz, sleep and health plays a big part of
Mhm,
your life. And
Sure.
we know more and more than ever about health and well-being. And of course, we're going to talk about
Good sleep, eating well.
we're going to talk about cocktails and beers, and do that responsibly. Enjoy that responsibly, please.
I always understand that in moderation, it's
Yeah.
not bad. In excess, lots of things in excess are bad for you, and
Yeah.
alcohol.
Sleep in excess is bad.
Yeah, you don't want too much.
Right, right. But
I know I feel lethargic if I do sleep too much,
but to the point, that's really neat to know about the Yingling family and Dick still being on the dock in retirement,
well, if you
just
sit around,
connecting with his business.
if you work a career and your mind and your body are very active, very active, very active, and all of a sudden
Done.
you put the mind out to sea and the body out to sea, they're not going to last long.
Yeah,
You
That's
want to
true.
keep the brain and the body busy, or you're going to lose it. Use it, you lose it.
Did you ever watch the series Mad Men?
I know what it is.
You know
I'm
what it
familiar
is,
with
yeah.
And
Did you watch it?
A little bit.
No.
Advertising, right?
Advertising, yeah. As a marketer, I love the show.
Yeah.
It's one of my like rewatches almost all
50s,
the time.
50s.
60s, Madison Avenue, New York,
Yeah.
60s.
Right.
So their main characters are going through the ever changing shifts of agency ownership and mergers and acquisitions, and the key figures and partners are talking about a new iteration, and two of the partners, Don Draper and
The other guy.
Bert Cooper, are talking to Roger Sterling. And Bert, the elder statesman, he's going on about retirement. And he's like, men like you, they go play golf, they hang out at the country club, go to the Maystone. And the actor's I tried to emulate his voice right there. He's like, but eventually all these men, they just die. And Roger's character says, Bert, really? Death? You're trying to sell me on death? He was doing better. And the point, again, belaboring it to 65 is the new 35. If we pay attention to ourselves, pay attention to our bodies, we can live a long life. That's what's great about our country.
Interesting statistic.
And enjoy that retirement. But
that I
sorry.
ran into is that if you don't take care of yourself, the odds are you're going to die in your 60s. If you take care of yourself, the chances are very good you're going to live 20 or 30 years longer. Putting cancer and car accidents aside,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But a whole wave of people die. You're like your classmates from high school. A whole bunch of them are the ones that just lived hard.
Go, yeah.
They're going to die off in their 60s. But some of the other ones, you'll see that if you go to a class reunion, which I'm going to go to my 50th this year, I know I'm going to see some that look like great. They're active, they're busy, and some of them are going to look like they're on death's door.
Yeah.
That's a kind of just a human thing.
Is that Donegal?
Elizabethtown.
Elizabethtown. Okay. So next town down.
Yeah, I grew up in Elizabethtown.
Yep.
And just one town away. You
Yep.
know where it is.
So, Sam, how did you become involved with Boobies?
Oh, okay. Well, the quick history: the Bube family had it until 1965. My predecessors, I love giving them credit because they didn't know what they were doing. I mean, I don't mean it that way. They didn't know that they were doing a wonderful thing.
Right, yeah.
They knew what they were doing in certain aspects, but they didn't realize what they were doing.
Yeah. Like the
when-
potential of what it could be.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
Well, they just knew there was this old brewery that the Bube family, they hadn't run it since 1917. But what was interesting, unique about it, was left essentially intact.
Okay.
And Lancaster County tourism was just getting underway in the 1960s. First trickle maybe in the 50s, but 1960s when like Dutch Wonderland, and that's when that kind of thing was all coming on. And everybody in Lancaster County was aware of this. Was a new thing here, as far as in the old days, people never thought when people want to come to Lancaster County and look at Amish people and buggies, but they're like, wow, okay, they do. So they just saw this old brewery in Mount Joy, said, you know what, it was being for sale for nothing. This was horrible. It was really condemnable condition. It was very bad. And they said, why don't we buy that old brewery? We'll fix it up and we'll show it to the tourists. That was their idea. And they just wanted to give a tour of it. And bless these guys, because they did not know what they were getting into, or the scale of what they were getting into. But they began the process of restoring this wonderful old collection. It's a whole collection of buildings. What you're looking at right now is the old original hotel. That's the original bar room in the hotel. Oh, wow. And we have 70 different rooms, many of which are underground. And there's just all sorts of things. But these guys.
Wait, did you say 70?
70.
70 underground rooms?
No, 70 rooms altogether. Oh. Many of those rooms are underground.
Wow.
But 70 total.
I didn't know the scale of
it. Well, it's not one building. It's a whole series of buildings. And that's a typical brewery of the 1800s. It was a bunch of an ice house, a cooperage, a bottling works, a brew house, and a hotel. That's kind of another. I could give you the really short version of that too. But so these fellows put money into it, and put money into it, and put money into it, all through the 1970s. And by 1980, they were just done. Yeah. They loved the place, but it had whittled down to just one of them. Fortunately, he was a high school classmate of my mother's in Elizabethtown. His name is Henry Gingrich. He's the fellow that was left. He was a lawyer, was his business, but this was his hobby, and he loved the place. But by 1980, he was done spending money on it. You've heard the word money pit. This would be a wonderful example of a concept. And I just happened to be home one weekend. My father was trying to help him sell the place, family real estate business. And I happened to be home from Penn State. I was living in State College. I just graduated, and I didn't want to leave. I really enjoyed State College, but I came home for the weekend. He says, come along with me on this real estate showing, and it just happened to be there. And these two young guys were overwhelmed and kind of like freaked out by it. There was like, no way, we were looking for a little tiny restaurant. We weren't looking for this. And I just could not get it out of my head. I thought, what incredible, unique, I'm up in State College where the dumpiest little bars packed all the time. And I thought, there's no way this shouldn't be able to work. Well, it's in Mount Joy, not State College. Sure. That's the first thing I learned.
Yeah, captive audience.
Sort of jumping. Yeah, we're out in the middle of nowhere with 40,000 young people.
Right.
Mount Joy doesn't have 40,000 young people anyway. But we've got plenty of market. But it's more of like what you guys say. You're not going to get everyone, but you want the ones who need you. You want them to find you. And I've learned much of that over the years. But I just jumped in the deep end of the pool, had no idea how to swim. But, I came and worked for Henry Gingrich, my predecessor. He was willing to stay in the business for a few years, leave some money in it until I was, we got on our feet. I took on two of my old buddies as partners. They've long since split off on their own now. But they came along with me at the beginning, and we got the place going. And I just love the uniqueness of a place that has endless unique atmosphere. I've always loved that. I think there's enough of ordinary in the world. It's nice to really enjoyable to work with something that's just unique at every turn. Series of environments, not just one really cool stadium. Endless little possibilities everywhere, and that really is. Like in all things, if you're inspired by what you do, you're just going to do so much more than if you're just doing it. I know people that are really good at something, but kind of hate doing it. It's never the same. I'm very inspired by the environment, with how to make the environment appealing and enjoyable. It's kind of a form of entertainment. So you're looking at a murder mystery shot. That's me on the right.
Oh, nice. So you're a character actor too.
I've been acting since I was in high school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was John Waters the inspiration there for the mustache?
Yeah, maybe.
I like it.
Yeah, actually. He's the.
Do I have that right?
That's
Waters?
I don't know. Director, isn't that what you mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, but he's a mob boss.
Yep.
So mob boss of this little sleeky.
I would say
mustache.
Very good mob boss.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in any case, the and and even doing shows was just part of that environment. Let's take the environment a step further, and you're coming into a Victorian era bar. Let's make a Victorian era story. And then during Prohibition, that bar you were just looking at really was a speakeasy. So we thought, well, let's make a murder mystery that's a speakeasy, taking place at the speakeasy.
Very cool.
And Mr. Bube's son-in-law, Henry Engels, is one of the characters in the speakeasy. Oh, we have our original murder mystery was Mr. and Mrs. Bube on opening day of the hotel in 1879. You're there the night with the mayor's there to, basically make a little speech.
Yeah.
And we have this new hotel in town, and we presume you as a guest are part of the Mountjoy community of 1879, and we want you to feel like you're in the thing, not just watching it. And that's been a lot of fun. We've developed that's a whole one leg of our place is taking theatrical, and that's because when I was class president in my senior year of high school, they didn't have enough guys to be in the show. And I said, well, I guess one way to set an example is I'll just try out for this darn show. I had zero interest.
Be the change you want to see in the world, right?
Yeah, right. So let's help out.
Yeah.
And when I tried out, I never even thought of doing theater. But when I was in my high school play, shout out to all those high school theater people. Please keep it up. It's a lot of work, but that little bit of high school theater, I fell in love with the whole idea of theater. Anyway.
I'm just looking around. Have you ever hooked up with, who is it? Is it Prima Theater that
Prima
brings
Theater?
the show on the road, or is that
Servant Stage?
Servant Stage.
Where do they perform?
Well, Servant Stage literally can perform out of a van.
Right.
So they bring
go
the
to
show.
events and things.
Yeah. So like they'll go to retirement homes, they'll go to schools.
Wonderful work.
I'm just wondering, again, this is Lancaster Connects, making connections, shining light on the community. I just wonder if hooking up with Servant Stage
maybe.
or a Servant Stage show at Bube's Brewery could be a possibility.
What's it called? Prima?
Servant Stage.
Well, Servant Stage would be the mobile theater, mobile shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could make an intro there.
Well, I'm writing it down because, hey, Lancaster Connects, right?
Yeah. That just might be a neat thing.
Well, I'd like to know more about it. I'm not familiar. This is a wonderful area for theater. We're close enough to New York and Philly that but we're not New York and Philly because, the rent's expensive and not everybody's going to get on Broadway.
Right.
But between Lancaster, Harrisburg, York, Lebanon, and All Point, Mount Gretna, and I could go on, Allenbury. You have a lot of theater going on around here. So I love the fact that some of the folks that work with me, that they're actually, that's how they make their living. Now, if you go to, I don't know, nothing against the middle of Kansas, but you're not going to make your living as an actor,
Right.
and be living there.
Right.
But here you can live here and be an actor and make a living.
Yeah.
And some of those folks work with me at Bube's. But anyway, there's a lot of theater going on around here. It's more than more than I can keep track of, even though I'm interested in such stuff.
I have a question about the murder mystery that you do. So if I'm at Bube's Brewery as a patron, am I part of the murder mystery? Like, are patrons like,
because you were presumed to be, like, say you come to the Speakeasy Murder Mystery,
right?
You're presumed to be a guest
at that
got the
setting.
pass to come to the Speakeasy, and
it reminds me of the board game Clue. Like you're like who done it sort of thing, and that's what it feels like.
That's the idea. And then we encourage you. I love not expecting you, but allowing you to get more involved if you want to, because people that are expected to get a little bit like, I don't want everybody looking at me. But in any crowd, I mean, just like a hypnotist, some people are hypnotizable. In any crowd, there's people who love that, and there's people who would rather just watch.
Yeah.
And even watching, you still feel like you're part of it because you are. You're literally, you're at an event. We're feeding you a dinner. You're actually eating, and that's the idea. It's not just, if you're watching a show, you're participating no matter what, but you don't have to actively participate. You can passively precipitate. And I like that because I want everybody to feel like they're not just watching the stage show. They're at this thing that they're part of it. And then, it's always entertaining to have somebody that asks a question. Maybe it's a silly question, get an answer, everybody laughs. The whole, even though it's called a murder mystery, it's meant to be humorous and fun.
And are these more adult themed or kid friendly or a little bit?
I don't really encourage people to bring young kids, because cognition starts around 5 years old, and younger, they just don't get it. You're babysitting them. But let's go to the 10, 11, 12-year-old. Man, they are right on it. And they're allowed to get up from the table and go ask questions of other adults at other tables. And the braver kids, they just love that.
That's wild.
Because they don't have to stay in their seat. Don't really a restaurant, well, no, stay in your seat.
Yeah.
But here they don't have to. And as long as they behave, and we're pretty good at, guiding them if need be. But they usually have a wonderful time. It's called a murder mystery. We got in trouble with that with Google, or like the word murder was who done it, whatever. We all know what it means.
we're right there with you.
I think they got it figured out. But for a little while, we were like,
yeah. You run into those tech slaps where it's like the algorithmic. Artificial intelligence.
It wasn't no human being.
Intelligent.
The algorithm found the word murder and was flagged us for a bit. But then I think
they figured it.
I think a human being went in and said, murder mystery is okay because it's a story. They knew that didn't mean anything to do with actual murder. So.
We've had our reviews get aggregated, and we're very much a no pressure selling environment. And many customers have left reviews using the phrase no pressure. Well, of course, Google's algorithm aggregated that word pressure.
Oh, so
and that's not a good thing.
Play high pressure,
right? That's not a good thing to be spoken about when you're doing what we do here at the store. That
you got to watch for those sort of things. Exactly. Literally, you have to be able to step back and look at.
What I love about what you're doing is, it's more than a restaurant. It's more than theater. It's more than a bar. It's more than a brewery. It's a real, true experience. I'm hearing things like, man, my wife and I are always looking for something different to
Seriously.
do.
Yeah.
And we want
to share, especially when you as a customer want to share something that's in the Lancaster area that's unique and different. I wanted to mention this earlier when we were talking about the history of the place. We're the only of those thousands of little German breweries from the 1800s that's still essentially in its original condition.
Wow.
No brewery, because it's a commercial building. Prohibition certainly didn't help. But no commercial brewery from the 1860s, 70s, 80s, 90s made it all the way to now, essentially like it was then.
That's amazing.
Then Bube. So I didn't realize any of that when I got there. Of course, again, I came in just like my predecessors did, not really realizing what a treasure this thing is. It is a treasure. It's just way beyond me. And I hope the next generation, which I'm in my 60s, I am thinking about that. That I hope they appreciate and continue. The possibilities are endless. And we in 2001 we began brewing beer for the first time since 1917.
Okay.
So that was one of the big hurdles. There's many left, but that was one of the big hurdles. Let's brew some beer at this brewery.
Right.
So anyway, I was very proud of that and still am.
I'm well aware of Prohibition and the time period, but I never correlated the fact that Prohibition would have just wiped out the commercial usefulness of a brewery. Like people who own those buildings and property were like, well, I guess it's
what are we going to do?
Land. What are we going to do with this? We got to turn it into something else.
It was very expensive to get a de-alcoholizer in Prohibition and try to make what's called near beer. You were allowed to have beer during Prohibition if it had 1% or less alcohol in it, because that's essentially negligible. And that didn't go over very well.
Right.
They had refrigeration equipment, so a lot of them got into dairy work. Yuengling, great example, right across from their old original. I do love Yuengling's buildings are old, but they've of course modernized to stay in business of the 20th century. But their ice cream plant was built, very 20s looking building, and it's was restored. And it's restored recently. It's their visitor center and gift shop. It's wonderful. And again, I recommend the Yuengling tour highly because they got into the ice cream business, and I think someone's still making Yuengling ice cream, remaking Yuengling ice cream again. But that was an example of what you did. But another interesting fact, not just that when Prohibition first started, breweries just acted like it wasn't happening and thought, especially Germans are like, what? It's like making cheese illegal, Right. It's like they didn't get it. But the feds finally come in and literally shut these various breweries down. And during Prohibition, beer fell by the wayside generally because it was, if people that wanted alcohol, which is about an average of 80% of people want to drink, and that hasn't changed much through history, according to my research, that of course, 80%, you make something that 80% of people want illegal, guess what you're going to have?
They want it more.
You're going to have what's called organized crime. It's very, in hindsight, prohibition was very predictably going to be a failure, but they didn't have that hindsight in 1920. They had, none of that. So beer fell by the wayside. Why? Because you couldn't sneak very much beer around, or much alcohol around in the form of beer.
Right.
But hard liquor, well, you could get a ton of hard liquor in the trunk of a car and sneak it somewhere. And then the mixed drink became the order of the day, because not everyone wants to drink straight whiskey, but a whiskey sour, or a Manhattan, a martini, a Tom Collins, daiquiri, that a lot of that stuff all came from the 20s because you sneak the beer and then or sneak the liquor and then add something to it. Yeah. So it's a fun fact. Anyway, I have a lot of those, alcohol business and lots of other things, but anyway.
So Bube's Brewery, 70 different rooms, multiple buildings, survived all these years in its original state. The catacombs really interest me. And you got the hotel.
That's the most kind of famous part of our place.
Right. Is there any like scary, spooky, eerie stuff that goes on the property?
Yes. There's a whole book answer there too. I contend that three of the most naturally haunted types of buildings are prisons, insane asylums, and hotels. Not so much a brewery, because brewery normally, if it's just a brewery, although in the old days, most old German breweries had a hotel with them. That was what we have at Bube's, was very ordinary back then. The brewing business essentially grew out of the innkeeping business back in medieval Germany, because the innkeeper made a lot more beer than an average person did. So people started coming to the innkeeper to get beer.
Makes sense.
And then the hotel connection lasted the whole into the 1800s. So I don't know specifically, but when Pabst Brewery started, or Miller Brewery started, or Coors, they probably had a hotel at the brewery. That was what the Germans did. So ours still has a hotel, and it's set up like that. But what was your question?
Any ghost
experiences.
Oh, the ghosts. Yeah. Sorry. Back to that.
Any spirits.
Hotels tend to have so much human activity of all sorts that some of that human energy seems to be left behind, especially in old time, not new hotels, old time hotels from the 1800s are notoriously haunted. I do mention insane asylums and prisons because two of the most famous paranormal destinations are the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia and the Pennhurst, used to be insane asylum out in the Schuylkill River. I think it's in Montgomery County. And they're both very popular destinations from not just the country, but different parts of the world. People come to do investigating there of paranormal activity. And my sensation, again, we could do the whole podcast just about this, but is that the energy left behind at a prison and the energy left behind at an insane asylum are very, very different than the energy left behind at a hotel. Right. And most of the investigators have thoroughly agreed with me that is the case. So the scary, creepy, jarring thing.
Yeah, not so much.
The prison and the insane asylum have plenty of that, because I don't even want to picture some of what would have happened in the 1800s at those places. But hotel was like,
jolly travelers passing through on an exciting journey.
People meeting and sharing information. It was the old hotel of the old days was the Lancaster Connects of history.
It was a hub.
You might pick up your mail there, or you meet people. Sure, that's where business was done. The little dining rooms in our Victorian hotel, that's where business people would sit down and crank out a deal because they had to meet somewhere. That's where you met.
Yeah, you didn't have Starbucks.
No coffee shop. A hotel tavern, which is, they called them taverns. 1 year they started calling the license a hotel license. Same thing. A hotel used to be what's called a tavern. You had to have food, you had to feed people, you had to have lodging, and you had to have horse livery, meaning take thorough care of your horses, or you did not get a license to serve alcoholic beverages. You had to have, and all the old licenses. Today, they did in 1933 when Prohibition ended, change the horse livery requirement to a parking lot, place to park your car. But they kept the others. We have to have hotel rooms. We have to serve food. We don't have trouble with either of those because lodging's part of our program, and of course, we're a restaurant is the main part of our income.
How many? I kind of forgot about how many active hotel rooms do you have on property?
We have 9 hotel rooms in the hotel, and then a historically connected property right across the street. We have suites over there as well. So we have 14 basically individual units that you can
Rent out on any given
rent,
night.
right,
Yeah.
on a given night. All right.
Very cool. Very cool.
One of the things we're working on right now.
We got them up on the screen.
Oh yeah, there you go. The penthouse.
Is there any one of your suites or rooms that like stands out, has a lot of history to it that you just love?
Well, the one, sure, and I'll just randomly pick one.
So I'm like asking a parent to like, who's your favorite?
Who's your
kid?
favorite one?
Who's your favorite? Yeah.
They've all got some cool
See one
themes.
there called Dark Princess that we just see there. That is room 8, and we still use the original room numbers at the rooms, but we have a hotel record dating all the way back to about 1919, and they kept it till 1965. They used the same book, and over the years we could see the number of people they were renting to. As the place was deteriorating, they rented the rooms less and less and less. But 1920s, they were full on renting the rooms all the time, and someone signed into that room on about a monthly basis, and was from Reading, PA. So you didn't have to put, a phone number, you just put your name and where you're from, and that's about it, and what you paid. But he signed in as John Doe and came on a very regular basis and was from Reading. And we can't prove this, but we feel that he was their illegal liquor connection. For two reasons. One is Reading, Pennsylvania was a clearinghouse for illegal liquor back in those days. A lot of booze went through Reading. There's a lot of informal economy going on in Reading at the time. Everywhere. Things were really corrupt. I mean, we think we're very lucky not to have the kind of corruption they had back in the 20s, because again, when you put organized crime in charge of an industry, you're going to get corruption more than usual. And that's exactly what happened. And it's one of the reasons Prohibition ended, because the organized crime element was just getting way too powerful. But this guy, John, and he always signed it as John Doe. So he came so regularly, we think he came once a month, brought the booze, and then signed it. They weren't making beer anymore, and they weren't making liquor, but they got it and were serving it illegally. So that room, and it's not so much that this mobster we think brought the booze is haunting that room or anything, but some of the investigating we've had, the ghosts that are in our old hotel are concerned about that room. They're a little bit scared of that room.
Interesting.
Which kind of makes sense, because if they like employees, some of which seem to have left energy behind. Again, it's not scary. Yeah. If anything, ghost just scares the crap out of you. I'm sorry. It's, I've gotten so used to it, I don't even think about it. And I've never seen a ghost, but I think that's because a lot of people, if you didn't see a ghost as a boy when you were little, you're probably never going to grow up. You're probably never going to see ghosts. But if you saw one when you're little, then you get kind of a connection or a perception, and you grew up and you may always see them. If you had an old house with a ghost in it when you were a little boy, girls kind of very different. They can see a ghost almost at any age.
Interesting.
Just a statistic from my point of view, but some of the former Bube's employees seem to be concerned about that room, and it makes sense if there was a mobster staying in it.
Yeah.
on a
Mob energy.
He always
not so great.
Yeah. He always
Happy,
stayed in that
jolly
room.
Tavern energy. Great.
Yeah, but he was always stayed in the same room, that room, and it's just one of our hotel rooms now. But so if people are concerned about such stuff, it's rent one of the other rooms.
That's interesting.
Other people think it's very, very, very interesting.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah,
I think so too. Sam, can you talk about or maybe shine some light on your staff, because you've got a unique staff. They're not just serving alcohol or running your hotel; they're performing. In a lot of cases. Can you talk a little bit about your staff?
I would love to. You guys are in business. Staff makes a business. And one thing I've always loved is even when times were tough, we still drew people who were looking for something a little more than just a job because they needed money. If certain people are very drawn to wanting a little more satisfaction out of life, a little bit more stimulation out of their job than just, I'll do this, I'm making great money, but I hate it. I've even told people, if you don't generally feel good about coming to work at our place, I don't want you to work here.
Sure.
If you are driving over here and can identify that you generally feel good about where you're going, not every day. Some days,
Sure.
you were up too late last night, whatever. I get it. But just generally feel good about that working here, then I really want you to work for me. And if I can take credit for anything that I think has to do with the place's success, I've always loved working with good people, and I've always had a relatively good staff. And I would say currently I have probably the best staff I've ever had, and that makes a business.
Yeah,
I got to imagine you have prospective employees reaching out to you to be part of the unique Boobies
Sometimes
team.
they walk in the door and just have this, I would love to be involved in this.
Yeah.
And when I see that magic in their eye, at least I can do is give them a try.
Right.
We have 55 to 60-ish regular employees. And then when I have the entertainers, musicians, and other actors and such, there's a whole bunch more. But of our regular employees, we need, you need good people, and we're always looking for that next magical person. But like I said, I really, people who get what's going on and want to, I think some of the best thing you can do with your own life is to find some inspiration and then use it, do something with it, because you're just going to add so much more vibration to the good if you're able to do that. If you're just kind of working, going home and putting yourself through the running the track, fine, and nothing against, because most people I realize have to do that. But if you're really drawn to do more than that, I think it's really good and healthy for you to do more than that. And those are the people that I think contribute generally the most to society. Just generally.
Love that.
And in my case, having really good people makes, of course you're going to get make a mistake once in a while with staff, but generally, and that usually takes care of itself fairly quickly.
Sure.
It's like, you just don't belong here.
Well, yeah, when you got a good crew, it's
the
crew protects the company.
Sure.
It protects the culture, because like, hey, we're this group of people here,
and
we've got this
if
energy.
there's a fly in the ointment,
Yeah.
you want the fly out of the ointment.
Yeah. So is there like, I mean, you've been involved with Boobies for a long time, but is there like a it's hard to ask, single moment story that really stands out from a guest that's really stuck with you over the years?
Oh yeah. Which question was that? Sorry.
Oh, number 4.
Because I made a note. Shoot, I made a note.
You can't read your own handwriting now.
I'm having trouble.
That's all right.
Oh, well, yeah, one thing did come to mind. I love when people bring special occasions to our place, because they're looking, they nothing against a chain restaurant, but if you're trying to impress somebody on a date, I don't think that's the hip place to go these days. But Boobies can very much be that place.
Yeah.
Again,
use our stage at Boobies Brewery, and we'll make your thing special.
If you want, if for any special reason you want it to be memorable, it could be a birthday. I can't count how many people have gotten engaged at our place. I mean, hundreds, and everyone means something to us, because, talking about the spiritual thing earlier, I think that leaves a little energy behind. If you got engaged at our place, I think over all my years, we've only had 2 no's. It's like, pay the check, buddy. You better. But and then
go to the Dark Princess room and think about your decisions.
Yeah. Countless, countless good ones, ones that went well. So there's that. And then in the process of that, we do a lot of people that are looking for, now I can't handle a 500-person wedding, but a lot of people get married there. They're looking for something unique as well.
A little more intimate.
Some, smaller. We can do up to about 100 people for a wedding, or less. And they're looking for something unique, and they want that, that feel. And I really love that. And many of them, I call them our wedding alumni, because, unlike some wedding venues where you're really not welcome back when the wedding's over, unless you make an appointment or something, you can come back to your wedding, your original wedding anytime you want, bring your friends, bring your, come back and say, oh, we got married right over here. They can do that. Yeah, right there.
That's cool.
Have you, I'm just,
good job, Chris.
now that you're saying that, like, have you ever done like a wedding alumni event?
That's a great idea. I've thought about it. It's one of those.
Yeah,
I have a long list of those, and that's on that list.
Because like, I just think of, like, nothing against the Carreras family where we got married. Carreras Hall, great people. Chris actually passed away just last few weeks. They're big mainstay in the community, and
but unless you go to another wedding, you're probably
right. Yeah, unless we go to another wedding, or we go to the annual football banquet where that's held. it's like, yeah, it's
You
like
can't
the
just-
most important day of your life.
Right.
And you don't get to go to
Right.
the place.
There's a
it
connection
in
between you and that
forged it.
place,
Yeah.
as you feel right now. And
Yeah.
the people were cool, I think that's very helpful.
Yeah.
And maybe you will go to the football banquet sometimes just to say,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
for the fun of,
Well, I'm on the tradition club now. So yes, I'm there every year.
oh, you are. So you do have a connection to it. But a lot of places you're just
But my
not-
wife doesn't come to that.
Oh, right. All right. Well, that's true. Because, it's very special to me. If it's your wedding day, I do not want someone bumping you in the face with their elbow trying to clean up in front of you, get you out the door. It's
Right.
like, it's your wedding day. Come on. Just,
Yeah.
we say you've rented the room for X number of hours, but if there's 20 of you left, I'm going to have you come back to the pub and sing karaoke,
Right.
and stay overnight, you don't
Right.
ever have to leave. You can sleep to the next day right there. So you get I love providing that full weekend experience for people, and it's a lot of fun. But one that stands out, that's what back to your question, was a bride was in the we have I don't know if Chris can find this, but there's a room full of great big wooden barrels, big cask, really huge.
Yeah.
And they have doors in the side where you were meant to climb inside and clean it. And every once in a while, some customer will crawl in there. And quite honestly, I don't care that much because that's what it was meant for. And there's nothing in there. They're made of wood that thick. They're
Can't
not gonna
damage it,
hurt
yeah,
anything. You're not going to hurt much. And I always say it's hard to do something the very first time at Bube's Brewery because we have a lot of history. But this bride was in her wedding dress and she wanted a picture in her wedding album of her inside the barrel, like people are usually wearing street clothes climbing. She climbed in the inside in her wedding dress. I don't have a copy of that picture. I'd love to get it. Got to track back to look at the wedding alumni.
This is why you need a wedding alumni night.
But they took a bunch of pictures of her inside the brewery where you go in normally, you're going to clean the thing. And she was inside there in her wedding dress. So that's a unique customer, but I have hundreds of little ones, but that's the one that kind of jumped into my head when you asked that question.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Bube's has a lot of identity, obviously in the Mount Joy community, which I'll give you a little interesting history about Mount Joy. I was chastised one time because I wrote with a customer.
MT period.
I did. You knew where I was going.
I did, I guess.
You abbreviated and got in trouble?
I got a little, like my grandma slap as a little boy, Jeffrey. It is not a mountain.
It's not a mountain. And
it is Mount Joy.
MT is an abbreviation for mountain. It's actually originally Mount Joy. I don't know if you remember an old TV show called Lovejoy.
Okay.
That goes way back. But English, there's a couple English names where it's British, I should say, because this is actually a Northern Irish name, is Mountjoy. It's all one word.
One word.
But of course, people over the years separated into two words. So that's why you're not supposed to appreciate
it. And now Grammarly today would, of course, correct you with a red line, and then you click the correct.
Right. But they separated the words, but it's really Mountjoy.
So how much of an identity and like staple is the brewery in Mount Joy?
Yeah, well, the town, I've always had a good relationship with the town because, we're the most famous thing in the town. And, But again, nothing against all the other people doing what they're doing. I love our little community. It's a very classic little Lancaster County all-American town. We do Memorial Day parade, and we little businesses support that, which I do like. It sometimes it's hard to get a chain that has a headquarters in Poughkeepsie but if you're right there, I've always tried to support the community as well, just like you guys are doing. But it's I love the idea of the tide comes up and all the boats go with it. So, if Bube's can be a good destination, and while they're in town, they can go to your store or sleep in your B&B or whatever. I really want that. And that brings to mind something I did want to mention just real briefly today. One of our current projects, this is, I've always tried to stay, like you guys are, involved a little bit beyond my walls. We're trying to get to market to all those people in New Jersey, New York, and perhaps Connecticut that don't drive or don't drive much or used to getting around in public transportation, to come down to Philadelphia by train and come out on the main line, and not just Mount Joy, but anywhere along all the wonderful stations that are in Pennsylvania between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and take a little weekend or long weekend little trip and come have some fun. And you don't even have to drive. I think and then all the people who do have a car but would think it'd be fun to do a train adventure, or if you don't want to wait in line at the airport, I'm told by our tourism community that regional vacations are really on the upswing because all the stuff with flying and TSA is scaring some people. Most of us are just going to go to the airport anyway, but a good percentage of people that's really going, I don't want to fly.
Yeah.
And not me.
I'm that person.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
See, I'm not.
I don't like it.
I'm going to fly anyway, but I'll try to book the flight at a time where I'm not worried or whatever, or just go really freaking early to the airport. But a lot of people are like, well, because a lot of people don't think train, it's just not programmed. Now in New Jersey and New York, they do, because that's how they get around.
Yeah. But Lancaster train station, tremendous asset.
It's fabulous.
So get into the area. You can come down through Philly. You don't have to stop off at Lancaster, but where would be the nearest stop for you?
A block from my business.
I'll say that
they can, and that's what got me.
Punch your ticket on the train, come hang out.
That's what got me involved in this process is people, how some of the best things in life aren't things you thought up yourself, but you observed and go, there's something to this. This was one of those. People started coming down, and the one that sticks in my mind, a customer, was literally from Manhattan. And they got on Penn Station, easy to get there from wherever you are in New York, got off at Mount Joy Station, which is literally a block from my business. And I saw them rolling their suitcases down. It's not that far. I mean, you can literally walk a block with your suitcase and roll your bag down. And they were our guests for the weekend, and we got to know them. And they sang in karaoke and ate dinner and went to the Murder Mystery, and all that. They had a great weekend. And by the end of the weekend, we were friends. But I said, if there's people doing that, why don't we tell people to do that? Let's market the idea, because what's happened, and I find this also very interesting, is from the tourism and Lancaster County's point of view. We have 3 stations. We have Lancaster, Mount Joy, and E-Town. And that's pretty good. I don't think any other county has 3. Most of them have, as you go west, each, if there is one at all, there's one. Lewistown and Mifflin County and Huntington County. So Altoona and Blair County, whatever. But in Lancaster County, 3. So I think the concept has legs to begin with, but the infrastructure is built itself, because 20 years ago, I would say, getting a taxi at the Lancaster station, you can do it, but it's not like easy or quick, because it's not like New York where you go outside and wave your hand. But now we have Uber and Lyft. You can
be anywhere.
You can go anywhere. So it's easy.
Which is so funny, like the old joke about, Mom, I'm going to get in the car with a stranger. No, you're not. Right now, through the safety of your phone, you punch up a stranger and you get in the car with the stranger.
Sure. You're right, but they have a little blue light, and hopefully they're
they've been vetted.
They've been vetted. One would hope.
All that other good
stuff.
But
and the other thing is just the advent of Airbnb, VRBO, and various lodging. Especially as you go west, Lancaster County, we have plenty of lodging of all kinds, which is great. You can come here and do any of those lodging if you want to. If you want to go come from Manhattan to Lancaster, stay downtown and just check out Lancaster, the city, and then go back home by train. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to own a car, or you could just do it because you want to do it on a train. And And
train ride's fun.
Train ride, it is. It's relaxing. I've done it a couple times. I want to do it again. My plan is I'd like to get on a train in Mount Joy or E-Town, go out to like Huntington. They have a wonderful little outfitter that's steps away from the train station, which they'll take you up the Juniata River, kayak down for the afternoon, and jump back on the train, come home.
Oh, no, see, that's cool. That's cool.
Cool.
But we have stuff like that. I mean, and the list of that is very long. That's one of the things we're working on right now is Jeff and I, you guys know Jeff, we're working on trying to come up with a list of those things. But I even looked into enterprise rent-a-car. If you don't even own a car, you want to come from New York City, Enterprise will come get you, rent you a car, and you can have a car for the weekend. And then, go back by train, go home, and you didn't have to park and think of tourism wise, you got people that come here to our areas. They're not going to buy a lot of mattresses, sorry guys, but they're going to come spend money in our community, which tide's going up, right? And they're not even taking up traffic on our highways, really. I mean, just getting, from one place to another, they might a little bit, and then no parking. They don't have to park anywhere. They don't have to drive anywhere. And anyway, so that's my, you were wondering
that's what you're
how I'd
looking
like
ahead
to
to
contribute to the larger community. That's probably the main thing I'd like to see move forward at this moment. But I always like working on something beyond, just like you are right here, now, working on something beyond the basics of I think that adds to your business by having, your business integrated with the
Yeah,
outside world.
the local community. Yeah.
Sure. Build a community.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, and you were asking about it. Do I want to somewhere is here?
Yeah.
It's a local business.
You brought
This
this.
isn't a
postcard.
business.
Yep.
This is most people are not familiar with the Susquehanna National Heritage Area.
Oh,
Have you either of you heard of it?
no.
No,
You don't even know what it is.
We
Okay.
probably should have them on the show.
let's educate.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Mark Platts is our president. I sat on the board there for many, many years. I'm not on the board right now. And that's what I like to do too. I used to be on Discover Lancaster's board when it wasn't called Discover Lancaster, it's Pennsylvania Dutch Convention of Visitors Bureau, because I support them very much as well. But this is a Susquehanna River, and I think they deserve a shout out for the community, because I don't know how much exploring you've done at the river and communities and nature along this river we have, but it is essentially as good as any national park anywhere in terms of natural beauty, overlooks, recreation. Good grief, there's 4 dams which create 4 lakes. They each have a name, which people just call it the river, but they're huge bodies of water, as good as any Finger Lake or whatever in terms of, you can go boating, you can rent a pontoon boat for the afternoon and go out in the water, go hiking, biking. The bike trail from Columbia to Falmouth, which is way up at the very corner of Lancaster County, 14 miles, is one of the best biking trails I've ever ridden on. It follows the river. It's not just straight and flat. I love the Potomac one, but it's an old rail bed, so it's absolutely straight and absolutely flat. This one isn't as such a rail bed, so it kind of weaves its way through the forest and is so cool.
It's cool. I've been on it. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. The cliffs are there. The White Cliffs.
The White Cliffs, up near
White
Bainbridge.
Cliffs of Kenoi.
Yeah.
That's an old lime tailings from a lime plant for the steel, iron industry. But and there's a bald eagle nest there too, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, right near the White Cliffs. There's they even have one of those view thingies.
And where are the
if
native?
you want to take your kids to see a bald eagle nest and fledging baby bald eagles, that's where to go.
Yeah, and then there's Native American markings.
That's further down the river.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Petroglyphs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's further south, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't tell you right off the top of my head, but
That came from Uncharted Lancaster, right?
Probably
Adam Stern, yeah.
Probably is enough to Google that and figure out where are the petroglyphs in the Susquehanna. Unfortunately, many of them are impounded under those dams I'm talking about. There's lots of petroglyphs, but they're there forever, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Underwater, but there are still ones above water, and the number of resources along the river that are underappreciated and underenjoyed is just phenomenal. And the Susquehanna National Heritage Area, that's kind of their charge to help bring alive and interpret all the cool things to do and see along the river. But if you go down what's called the Normanwood Bridge, which is further down Lancaster County, you would probably dig this. Go over to the York County side and then hike onto the island. You can hike down and jump onto the islands, and it looks, I don't know, like you're somewhere far away from,
like not in Lancaster or York.
No, not in Pennsylvania at all. It's like it just seems like you're in somewhere in Oregon on some wild river, except the Susquehanna is one of the biggest, widest rivers. It's wider than Mississippi at most places because it's so shallow. It's super wide. It's more than a mile wide at many places, but it's you can go boating and fishing and all the stuff to do. It's oh, look, there's some petroglyphs.
Yeah, there we go.
Good job, Chris. You found them.
Well, we are
Anyway.
we are in overtime.
We just
are.
blew through our
Is that an
hour.
hour?
That was
We are.
Oh, fun hour, you guys. I didn't think that was. I thought I'm not real
we
good.
were like 20 minutes in.
I'm not really good with
That's all right.
emphasizing. Yeah, I had a whole bunch more stuff here, but
Well, we do have to get to our connection cocktail.
We do.
oh, right.
So
Yeah,
we can
there
chat
you
a little
go.
bit more. But yeah, let's.
Sure. Well,
You
if,
brought some treats,
Yeah.
some liquid treats.
Hopefully Chris has 5 or 10 more minutes for us.
If Chris has to go. And I wanted to bring the real actual glass.
Oh man, I was wondering here.
These are
I was trying to.
Bube's Brewery glasses.
We got paper plates and paper bowls back there, but we have real glasses.
Goodness.
This is get your pinky out. This is highbrow.
Yeah, well, I'm not the expert here. I must admit. There's a lady named Kendra who is our chief, like the chef is to the kitchen. She is at the drink program, but she gets lots of help from the other staff too. And
I love that you've got a cooler back here. Just I know everybody listening and watching, they're hearing the sounds. You've got a
Sound of
cooler
ice.
back here filled with ice.
I tried to figure out, hey, I'm a bartender. It's not can I do it? It's just how.
Right? How? Yep. So this container here is filled with
So
ice,
let's see. This one is the one she said.
and it's a growler, but
it's not supposed to go over ice. This is the Dirty Dill Pickle Martini.
Oh my goodness!
I don't think there's one of you guys can't do gluten.
I can't do gluten. I can't do
there's
wheat.
no gluten in.
Usually, there's
dill
spirits
pickle.
are good. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
you're probably fine. I won't die.
Vegetable infused vodka with house spicy pickle brine, dry vermouth. So
Okay.
it is literally a martini, but it's let me
Shake
Gotta-
it.
gotta shake it
not
up.
Stirred.
Yeah.
I'll do my James Bond.
What time's baseball practice tonight?
You got enough time.
Here, kids, hit this one.
So a little bit of
It's
a
got some color to
light
it.
green.
Yeah, that's the pickle juice, which I think is.
Fill me up there.
I don't know. Do either of you eat a dill pickle?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you're
love
okay,
pickles.
Okay. Some people really don't like that, but it's like you probably love it or hate it kind of thing.
So this is a unique drink to Bube's Brewery.
Correct.
You're not going to find this anywhere else.
No. I mean, you might find some pickle juice is really popular right now. I hate to say it, but people sometimes are forced to buy a jar of pickles, and they can't even use that many pickles, but they need the juice. It used to be you used the pickles and threw away the juice. Now,
Well,
here you
cheers.
go.
Sam, thank you for joining us.
Is this the first time?
With the connect
First
with the
time
cocktail.
drinking here, yeah. Oh yeah, that's
You can really taste the pickle.
good.
It's meant to be blended. Well, see, a good beer, because we're a brewery, and I want to shout out my brewer Tony. He knows what he's doing. He makes wonderful beer. A good beer should be a blend of course, there's alcohol in the beer,
Mhm.
but you want the malt and hops to be. To me, a really good beer is balanced. It has
Sure.
some of the malty kind of sweetness, let's call it, and then hops is bitter, and then alcohol, and those three should balance. Well, a good drink, you take the alcohol as well, and you want to balance that with a whiskey sour would be sweet and sour,
Mhm. Mhm.
sweet sour alcohol. This is more like tangy or pickly. With
Pickly.
Yeah,
There are some. I mean, that is just tremendous. Tremendous layers to that.
Mhm.
That's the idea. Well,
I really like it.
it's like a good wine should have complexity.
Yeah.
You can make
Ben appreciates wine for what it is.
That's a whole other
subject.
show in and of itself.
Well, we'll do,
What's the other one you got
these
for
have
us?
Nothing to do with each other. We'll do a little horizontal.
Okay. All right.
beverage
What
creation.
did we call that again? Dill.
Again,
Dirty dill
I'm gonna
pickle
say it
martini?
wrong. Dirty dill pickle martini.
Chris will send you one in the mail.
Dirty
So,
dill pickle martini at Bube's Brewery.
vegetable infused, house spicy pickle brine. So it's not just it's got a little.
It's got a little kick.
Little kick spicy to it, and dry vermouth, dry vermouth is classic in a.
This is
in a,
this is a fantastic drink.
Awesome.
Highly recommend.
Definitely.
You said Kendra?
Kendra Allen, no relation.
Kendra Allen.
Gotta have your pinky out.
Pinky out and
In fact, it's kind of confusing at our place. Kendra's husband name is Sam Allen.
Which is your name,
That's my name,
but that's not you.
but it's not me.
Guys are making me thirsty.
it's
Sorry, Chris.
sorry that we can't satiate.
Oh, now this is different. That's meant to be served like that. Down here. Like I
Okay.
said,
Now we need ice involved.
Yeah, this one should have some ice. Guests first, or I'm the guest. You're the guest.
Yeah, we have guests
You're the
doing the
guest
work
now.
for us.
Yes.
That's a rarity. I like it. Well, that's the kind of hospitality you can expect at Bube's Brewery.
Well,
When you go.
sure. I think hospitality is a wonderful art form of just making that's what innkeepers have been doing since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Just tell you, the weary traveler needs a little break from the rest of the world and life. So come out, it has its value.
Yeah.
Getting out from your ordinary life and doing something special.
Well, listen, what you touched on, hospitality, taking care of people, customer service.
Right.
I-
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Customer service is a form of hospitality for sure.
and I think we're in an epidemic of customer service at a time where it's never been more expensive to go out and experience things.
That's true.
Be that a meal, an entertainment park, a venue.
Yeah.
There's a fee on this. There's a tip on that. Not that tipping is bad per se, but boy,
It adds up.
it just adds up. It adds up to your experience. But when you have a great experience and somebody with a heart for service and hospitality, as I can tell you do just from our conversation, and obviously you don't run a successful place like Boobe's Brewery
40
without
years
being
without
great
having
at it.
some of it.
Boy, this would be a place to go. So at any rate.
Yeah, I think, like I said, hospitality is an art form that's just absolutely needed.
Yeah.
Well, let me go to this and I can keep talking. Kendra calls this lights out.
I think you might like this one.
Yeah.
This is right up Jeffrey's alley.
It's a rye whiskey, Bullet, Canton's ginger liqueur,
Okay.
which is kind of also a popular thing now. A honey whiskey, lemon, and bitters, and then the little extra magical thing. Let's just put just enough to cover the. I think I started it, but always want to.
Jeff looks very happy.
I can already tell, folks, this is a great. Kendra, you are thumbs up.
Oh, good. I've got to make sure she.
I mean, Bullet, you commented that people don't drink ryes and whiskeys by themselves. Well, I'm not those people. I am like my RV trailer has a whole bottle of Bullet in it.
There you go.
Oh, well,
Many other bottles.
But
And,
don't drink it yet.
Yeah.
Because.
Do we need to?
It gets a Cabernet float.
Oh, okay.
Kendra and her husband Sam are in charge of our social media program, so they'll be the ones, hopefully. I don't call that floating, but sorry, Kendra.
So when you say Cabernet, is this wine?
Cabernet wine.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. It's
supposed to kind of float on the top. All right, little.
It's a little better. Here. Yours is more floating.
That's cool.
I want you to have the two best ones.
That's pretty cool.
So we call this again. What is this called again?
It's just it's called
Lights Out.
Lights Out.
Lights out.
But it's not a whiskey sour by any means. But it's got honey whiskey, lemon bitters,
And this Cabernet float on top.
Ginger. You might notice a hint of ginger in there because that's in there. But it's Cabernet.
All right.
Oh,
cheers there.
There we go.
Cheers.
To your hospitality and amazing customer service and your amazing team, Kendra and her Sam. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's hey, folks, I know you can't taste it, but you can see from the face. It's fantastic.
I wanted to say,
You can get it from Boobe's Brewery any day of the week, right?
right. And we're always, and now 6 months from now, we will have moved on to other things,
Sure.
perhaps, but because we're always featuring the Kendra and her team of people because she gets input from others, but she's the head one of creating interesting drinks. Like I said, she's basically the chef of the drinks, but has many of the other staff. If they have an idea, they say, "Hey, can we do something with this?" That's the idea. We want to be collaborative. And the kitchen the same. I love when somebody's watching a good cooking show and brings an idea and says, "Yeah, well, maybe we won't do it just like that. We'll adapt it." And that's one thing. Most work. I always love Thomas Edison's statement. Somebody said, "You're an inventor. It must be awesome." He said, "Well, as long as you don't mind 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration."
Yeah, exactly.
Most jobs are work.
Yep.
Don't take away that 1%. Just in our little world, that 1% is coming up with stuff like this and doing interesting, fun, creative. Using your brain to let the imagination have some sway instead of just the part of you that's got to get the job done for the day. But I do want people to know that, and I love that our restaurant and any restaurant that does this, but ours is, I think we're very capable of doing this. Things are expensive these days.
Mm-hmm.
And if you eat in the catacombs, it isn't cheap. Sorry, there's no way to make it cheap. It's just, we can't. There's too much that goes into it.
Sure.
But if you just want to bring your family and you don't have the budget to do that, just come and sit in our beer garden and bring your kids. And the adults can have a beer, the kids can have a soda. You can order one of those great big pretzels and sit there, and the budget won't get broken at all. You're fine.
Sure.
Just you don't even have to eat. You can come in the middle of a Saturday afternoon and sit outside and eat a pretzel if you want, because I want them to feel like they can still come.
Yeah.
I'm very committed to diversity, always have been in a way of I want as an innkeeper, I think it is my job to make the world welcome to my door.
Sure.
The only people I don't want, and the only people I would have any kind of prejudice against, are people that don't know how to behave themselves.
Sure.
Right.
If you know how to behave themselves, I don't care who you are or what
Yep.
you look like, or
Right.
if you need a assistance dog, or you're so big you don't hardly fit through the door. I don't care. We want you to feel at home and welcome.
Yeah.
Whatever your issue might be, but just behave yourself. That's all I ask.
Yep.
So from family pretzel time to an amazing experience, which the price you pay in the catacombs, the value of that experience and the memories attached,
The memories, yeah.
will far exceed what you swipe on the credit card.
Yeah.
I want to hope, but I want you to.
Yeah,
If
you will have an incredible time.
I'll remember today because I don't do this every day.
Oh, we're not doing this next week?
Well,
If you bring, hey, you bring this stuff back. Booby's Brew. Wait, whoa. We are going to do this every week. Connection
got halfway
Cocktail
down
brought
the
to you
list.
by Booby's Brewery.
Oh, there we go.
Every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I don't think we got halfway through this list.
We didn't.
We could feature your new drinks every week on Lancaster Connects. There we go.
Well, that or when Kendra comes up with some new ones, I could come back.
There you go.
That sounds fun. But no,
Yeah.
I think it's like I said, there's so much more we could talk about.
Yeah,
I'd love
right.
to. But I'm glad we touched on the hospitality thing, because that's very important to make people feel welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, no pressure. But
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I think a day that you'll remember is a valuable thing. So I want to give that to my customers.
Yeah. That's
Most of the people get up on Monday morning, they go to work, they come home. They're not going to remember that Monday.
Yeah.
Until maybe by Thursday, they won't remember whether it was Monday or Tuesday. But when you do something that's memorable, I think that really ramps up, your life, because you need to do things that you'll remember, that you'll always remember. And again, I'm at Boobies every day. I won't remember, of course I'll remember so much of it forever, but I want the customer to come in and if they say 10 years later, they remember that they were there and what happened that day. I love that, because that's a good thing. It's a good thing to have a day. If it's just taking your kids and the bald eagle nest I mentioned, and it's the first time they ever saw bald eagles, they'll remember that. The first thing I remember in my whole life was my dad's from Seattle. So, I don't remember anything when I was little about the house, I remember what the house looked like and everything, but we took a trip all the way across the country, and all of my first memories of my life, I was 3 years old, were all the crazy stuff, visions in my mind that were going across the country and coming back, because it was so memorable.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah. Nice.
Well,
love that.
We are in overtime. We're going to look to wrap up. We've had a great connection cocktail talking about cocktails, talking about all the hospitality of Boobies. So we're going to cut to the one question and the one question only.
Okay.
For America's 250th, we're in that 250th year of celebrating America. You have a lot of history that you work with every day at Boobies Brewery. So I'm excited to hear your answer. From your view, what makes America so great?
What makes America so great, and I feel very passionate about this, is freedom. And that's a simple word, I know, and people have died, thousands of people have died for our freedom. But I love a society where truth has a chance. Corruption and lies and all that sort of thing is part of every society. It's just, what does a society have a mechanism that allows for that to actually be the good to come forward? When I was a kid, I was for some reason, I don't know if I lived a past life in some authoritarian society, but I learned a lot about it, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And even elements that I'm very worried about what's going on right now, but I do believe in our country enough that you've got a society, holding Americans down and doing authoritarian things to them isn't going to work very well,
right?
Because we
It's
don't realize
not in our DNA.
It's not in our DNA. But I would ask anybody who is okay with Ben Franklin made a wonderful statement about, if you take a little bit of less freedom and a little bit less, you're not going to get or deserve either. If you accept less, and my long story short here is, if you think it's okay to have a society where there's one religion and if you're not a member of that, you're on the outside, or one way of thinking, go to Russia, go to China, go to North Korea, go to Iran, live there for a while. See how you like it.
Yeah.
Because if you're any kind of American that I think you are, you're not going to like it. So don't let even that, any of elements of that creep into us. Sure, we have to be organized. Sure, you can't yell fire in a theater if there's no fire, but you have freedom of speech other than that.
Yeah.
We have freedom to sit here and talk about what we want, freedom of press to sit, but I want the truth. And the truth is under assault right now. And some people are believing things that aren't true to a degree that scares me, man, just scares me. And it's like, seek out the truth. And like I said, what makes America great is the fact that truth has a chance here. It's not guaranteed, but it has a chance.
Yeah.
Those societies I just mentioned, truth has no chance. It's not ever going to, you know, and if you live in Russia, you know the news you're getting isn't the truth. And you know it, but you, and you have to, the only way you're going to hear the truth is if you hear it by word of mouth by somebody, and then you're scared to say it out loud because you might go to jail. They might come get you in the middle of the night, and they do that.
Right.
Well, do you want to live in a society where they come snag you out of your house in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
We're kind of getting closer to that in some ways, and that's got to stop. So I want to keep America great by not having authoritarianism and totalitarianism creep into our society. So I feel very strongly about that. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Go live in Russia for a while and then come back and talk to me. I mean it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Very well
Well,
said.
thank you for that.
You bet.
Thank you for that. And
I don't know what you guys think personally, but I feel very passionately about it.
yeah, no, I'm there right there with you. You know, I think that the beautiful thing about our country is we've got the muscle for that test, right? We've got the muscle to test our principles, to test the framework of our republic, framework of our Constitution. We've got the muscle and the structure to test that. Interestingly enough, I only became a citizen. It was September of 2019, so 7 years this September.
Where are you from?
I was born in Canada.
Oh,
so
okay.
So not far
it's not really
away.
obvious. Well, it's just not obvious.
It's right. It's not obvious.
Yeah. You don't look like you're from Thailand.
But right. But yes, I very much believe in this country. So thank you for sharing that. This has been a pleasure. We're going to wrap up our business. I've got my Sleep Better tip for you real quick, and Ben has a testimonial. And Sam, this has just been a tremendous pleasure.
Can I continue my drink?
Oh,
of course.
100%.
We're still in connection
Please.
cocktail. Yeah.
I might drink what you have left. All right. So my Sleep Better tip for you as we wrap up this wonderful time with Sam Allen from Bube's Brewery. My Sleep Better tip. So, you know, sleep is this complex science, and our team here has recently been all certified as sleep science coaches, so they can help you out tremendously with your sleep and give you some things to focus on. But without you understanding a baseline of your sleep, they wouldn't be able to help you as well. So some things to understand the baseline of your sleep. There's tools out there. There's wearable devices like a Fitbit that can track some things that happen at night. Your cell phone can lay at the side of your bed. Not the best. Okay, so cell phone's good. Your Fitbits and wearables are better. Things like an Aura ring. Now I'm pointing to my wedding ring, but an Aura ring is great because you wear that. Its technology is built far superior than those other two options. But those things, while not perfect, even the Aura ring being the best in the example here, while not perfect to being hooked up to monitors and doodads, which I would contend you don't sleep that well with those anyway. No matter which you might use, you're going to get a baseline of a pattern, and you're going to see and understand, okay, well, boy, I woke up an awful lot. The cell phone's going to tell you that. The Aura ring's going to say for how many minutes and why. No matter what you want to work on there, just getting that baseline of your sleep, you're going to begin to notice some things. You're going to say, boy, I got up a lot more when I had that energy drink at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or, you know, boy, I snored because I loved the dirty dill pickle martini and I had 8 of them.
I don't know that you could have 8 of them.
Going all the way back to moderation, right, Sam?
Right.
So,
Right.
You know, maybe just have 1 or 2. But the point being is you'll see a baseline. And from there, you'll be able to take that baseline and say, if I do these things, I can sleep better. So that tip and many others will mail you in our book, Sleep Better. Go to gardenersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. And we'll get you that book for free because we believe in the power of sleep and we want everybody to sleep well here in Lancaster. So we'll mail you that book for free.
Love it. All right. Testimonial time for Gardener's Mattress and More. Again, Gardener's Mattress and More is the sponsor of Lancaster Connects. And I'm going to go with the theme of brevity for this review.
We haven't had any of that here
Yeah,
today.
no,
We
not
haven't done
today.
too well with that.
So the question was asked of this person, this customer, David. What do you think of our process of assessing your sleep needs? He said complete and accurate. Too simple, but I think very truthful words. And how was your overall experience? And would you recommend Gardner's mattress and more to others? He said great for his experience and indeed for recommending Gardner. So in the interest of time, we'll go with brevity here. So thank you, David, for your business and for your kind words here on your handwritten testimonial form that was given at delivery. So
Love it. Sam, this has been a pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for the drinks. Thank you to Kendra and your whole staff and everybody along the way for making Bube's Brewery such an anchor here, not only in Mount Joy, but in the county and bringing people from around the world, as you said, as far away as New Zealand even. It's really cool what happens right here in our backyard.
You had asked for a story real quick. My favorite story is someone from Mount Joy, our town, was in Switzerland riding up a cable car. And this one Swiss person was telling a friend about this place back in America.
Oh, no way.
That was underground.
I think he called it Boobies, right?
Yeah, and they're Swiss, so they Bubas probably.
Okay.
But the person from Mount Joy, you mean Bube's Brewery, don't you? And they go, yeah, that's it. And they were a Swiss person telling another Swiss
half
person.
A world away.
It. Yeah, I
love it.
I just kind of get a kick out of stuff like that.
Love it. Love
Naturally.
it. Sam, thank you. And on that note, you don't have to go to Switzerland and jump in a cable car to learn about Bube's Brewery. You can just watch the show, or just better yet, jump on Google, hit that address up, go to Bube's Brewery, grab a great meal, a great drink, a great experience with your family. We'd love for you to do that as a result of Lancaster Connects. And until then, we'll see you next time on Lancaster Connects. Take care.
Comments have exploded. So there you go.